All right, now we're going to do quartile and box and whisker plot. So what we need to do in order to do quartiles is either put the numbers in order and count to the middle, and the middle of the bottom half and the middle of the top half, or you can put it in Desmos and let Desmos do that ordering for you. It's more important to us. The higher level skill is actually being able to interpret the data. So we would rather you be able to tell us what the data means than do the stuff that you did in middle school with us. So I'm going to put the data into Desmos. I have 10, 90, 30, 20, 30 again, 60, and now I can't see my list anymore, 40, 70, 40. 30, 60, 80, 20. A good thing to do is make sure that you have the right number of things here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Make sure you have 14 pieces of data in your list. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so our minimum number and our maximum number we're going to have to do on our own. So our minimum number here, as I'm looking across, is 10. There's our min. And our maximum number, I remember putting 90 in. Here's 90, max. And now quartile 1, quartile 2, and quartile 3, we're going to have Desmos do for us. So we're going to be over in the functions again in the stats menu. You have to be careful because there are two buttons right next to each other that look very similar. There's quartile and quantile. We want quartile. And we're going to use x1. We want quartile 1 of x1. And let's see if I can remember the order we need here. So what you need to do when you're putting that into Desmos is first refer back to your list. So we have this in x1. So we have to tell it, I want the quartile, look at my list, x1, and then we want quartile 1. Quartile 1 is 30. I'm going to get the data down for quartile 1, quartile 2, and quartile 3, and then we're going to rate what it means. Quartile 2, I can just backspace over that 1 and do 2. Quartile 2 is also the same as the median. So if you type median x1, you'll get it. And then same thing here, quartile 3. Quartile 3 is 16. Now, writing out what this means is a little more tricky. So what this means, well, quartile 1 is the 25th percentile. So that means 25%, and this is days. It says, a park has several basketball courts, and the student is counting the number of players each day. 25% of the days there are 30 basketball players. Or less. Or fewer. You can use the word fewer as well. All right, quartile 2 is 50%. So 50% of the time, or of the days, there were, our number is 40. Or fewer basketball players. And the last one, quartile 3. What quartile 3 gives us is the 75th percent. 75% of the days there were 60 or fewer basketball players. All right, we can go back to Desmos for our average number here. What is the average number of people playing? Remember, you're not going to be able to do average. You are going to be able to go to functions and stats and do mean. Mean is the same as average. We also need to refer back to our list. Our list here is X1. So that's 45. The average number of people was 45. And then calculate the interquartile range. The interquartile range, you think about your box and whisker plot that we're about to make, it's how wide that box is. But once we have our data, the way we get that is just do Q3 minus Q1. So Q3 is 60 and Q1 is 30. And now we're going to do our box and whisker plot. So before I scroll up a little bit so you can see it better, I'm going to put some little lines on here. My minimum is at 10. My quartile 2 is at 40. So that's the bottom of my box. My quartile 3 is at 60. My quartile 1 is at 30. My quartile 2 is at 40. My quartile 3 was at 60, and my maximum was at 90. You just make your box and your whiskers. It's kind of helpful to label here because your min at 10 and your max at 90. Q1, Q2, and Q3. Again, your interquartile range just gives you how big that box is. And remember, Q2 is the same as the median. All right, there were a lot of words in that problem, but the interpretation is really what makes this a high school concept. All of the math you did in middle school by hand, but it's the interpretation that's really the important part here. All right, on to the next problem.